right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Caribbean Feedback, our backyard conversations where we discuss our issues and experiences and find solutions to our problem. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a team of individuals here, and we're going to start with Sam Archer. Will you introduce yourself, then the next person, and then the next person? Mr. Archer.
Okay. So I am Sam Archer. From the Musilog family. We're an online magazine publication that caters to music, entertainment, and culture. In fact, our moniker is Where Entertainment and Culture Lives. And I'm happy to be here to share this stage with my colleagues, Mr. Delroy Souden, Mr. Curtis,
Henry.
That
I am not even going to answer, Sam. I'm done.
He was giving it to me all day too, you know.
So you're giving it back.
I'm going to get back today.
Feed into that foolishness.
And the lovely Miss Karin. Good evening. Good evening,
everybody.
All right, Mr. Curtis, time for your introduction, sir.
Well, you introduced Karin. She didn't say anything about herself, who is she? This is the first time we're on this platform. Ladies first, go ahead and...
So the beautiful, the flower among the thorns, the flower among the thorns.
I'm no flower.
Karin?
Hi, everybody. I'm Karin Forrester. Let me make it official. Unlike these three gentlemen, I don't have a background in radio or broadcasting or music or anything like that. I have spent 22 years as a registered nurse between New York and the last 18 in Florida. I'm a recently trained chef, but my newest project is Bantu Creations, where we offer African-inspired, lightweight, handcrafted, beautiful jewelry. So I'm looking forward to becoming a little bit more familiar with this audience. That's it.
Awesome. And now for the thorn.
Getting hit hard tonight, my brother.
I have never been this night as such. Anyway, good evening, people. My name is Curtis Henry. Originally from Trinidad. By the way of Brooklyn, New York. Spent 20-something years up there. So did a little stint in the military, U.S. Army. From there, did the family life, ran away from New York. I'm here in Florida. Still pursuing my dreams. I have dreams of grandeur, still chasing that pie in the sky. Right now I have a media company called XL Media Enterprise, and Caribbean Chat, my YouTube channel, is just one part of that enterprise. Caribbean Chat is a platform where I interview Caribbean people of excellence because we too have a story to tell. And as I say to many artists out there, when is the last time Steven Spielberg knocked on your door and offered you an opportunity? When was the last time NBC News or CBS or ABC came to you and asked you to tell your story? So I provided a platform, and Caribbean Chat is the platform for that. And here we are all together. Somebody mentioned something about discussing our issues. Virgin, let me tell you something. I don't have no issues.
Yeah, right.
So I can discuss the issues of our community, the issues of our people, but as an individual, I don't have no issues to discuss. So
that's
right.
I don't know if I'm in the wrong place, let me know. Okay. So go right ahead.
And of course, I am the one, the only. Delroy Souden, aka Deli. And of course, my new project happens to be Am Social, an urban alternative on social media. And, we're just looking to create our own space for our own people, not just Caribbean, but people from all over on amsocial.net. So we are urging everyone that is viewing right now to, go there, sign up, and become a member of ampsocial.net. All right. In the meantime, what's on your mind, Sam?
What's on my mind is I'm happy that we're here. I don't know how we got here, but we're here. So the fact that we're here, we're going to make the best of it.
Yes, let's make the best of it. And Karin, what's on your mind?
Well, we said we would discuss what made us get to this point, wanting to offer this platform. That was
okay. And would you like to kick it off? Would you like to, talk about that?
Not necessarily, but
Not necessarily.
I think we need to find a means of expressing ourselves more freely. And if this platform and a few others that we've discussed so far allows that, then it's a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
I think we need to have that avenue and not be censored every time we say something that someone doesn't like. And I know that I dealt with that about 2 months ago, on a major site, and I didn't appreciate it because there was no reason for it. It's nothing blatantly wrong in what I did, So I like the fact that something else is opening up to allow people
exactly
more freedom. There's freedom. Freedom of speech should be upheld at all times, not just when someone finds it convenient.
Exactly. And having said that, it's I personally have posted something on Facebook and have to take it down before they censor me, because someone say, hey, take it down quickly because Facebook may censor you. And I've had friends who have actually been to Facebook jail and was in Facebook jail for a while, and then finally they were released. And but the threat of being censored is always there, especially in this climate that we're in. And it's one of the reasons why I decided to create AmSocial as an alternative to that platform where we can express ourselves without the fear of being censored. And having said that, this doesn't mean that anything goes on the platform, if you know what I'm saying. But as far as us expressing ourselves, our beliefs, and whether it's politics, whether it's religion or anything else, we should be able to do those things without the fear of being censored. And we're all creative people in our own rights. And we decided to come together because we recognize that everyone has a voice. Unfortunately, some people either are not comfortable sharing their voice or, other things, especially in the Caribbean community. So we all have Caribbean backgrounds. And we know our experiences, which are unique. Two of us are from Trinidad. Sam is from Trinidad. Curtis is from Trinidad. Karin and I are from Jamaica. So we are bringing our experiences, personal. I'm sorry?
Trinidad. Let me help you with the pronunciation. Trinidad.
Listen, Massa, now start
Listen to me.
Sam, did he say that this is the first time he pronounced the word?
Oh gosh.
I
for a Trini to be the grammarian, to be correcting. Oh gosh, we don't want to get started.
That's what I'm saying. Let's not get
Trinis and their sayings.
But by the way,
you absolutely slay the English language at times.
We speak best English in the Caribbean. No, not that I'm lamenting.
Oh gosh. It's a good thing the blinds.
By no means am I claiming that my slave master was better than your slave master and he taught us better English than he taught you. I'm not saying that.
Well, I don't know about the other three of you, but I didn't know my slave master.
Excuse me. When it comes to clarity, when it comes to diction, when it comes to pronunciation, when it comes to anything to do with speaking, we all know that Trinidadians speak clearly where they can be understood. We use English. The Queen's English is the language in which we communicate.
I have no relationship with the Queen, so I don't need to speak her
Exactly.
English.
So when you all
You're the one with that one,
say
yeah.
that we speak funny, no, you need to check yourself. I will check you. You need to stop right there because that thing you all talk, I don't know what.
We do the English correctly, and when we're together, private, we do our little, Creole, patois, whatever you want to call it, But we
Yeah, I
know
mean-
a time and place. I don't think Trinis draw those lines. I think they just throw whatever out there, and who can catch it, and who can't.
So let me find this out. So, he is answering for all Trinis. Is that what we?
It sounds like it.
Apparently, he
Sounds like
represents
it.
the island of Trinidad and Tobago.
Sam is laughing.
Okay, all right.
Back me up on that one, but you left me out hanging. No.
No. I just want to know, like,
Sam just want to know.
Did you hear the guy say Trinidad? You from Trinidad? What was that?
I said Trinidad.
It still sounds funny.
Isn't it Trinidad?
Okay.
Isn't it Trinidad?
Coach your boy.
We know what he's saying, okay?
All right.
He might mess with me now,
Okay, we'll give you a bye for the day. We let
He
you
might
slide.
mess with me now.
By the time you come back on the show, please pronounce my country's name properly. Trinidad.
Trinidad. That's what we said, sir.
That's better.
The question is still
All right.
on the table as to what brought each person to this venue. And so for the two who haven't answered,
Who answered already? Sam, you answered
I
already? Okay.
I didn't really
You're
answer
the only
that
one, right?
particular question. I just gave an introduction, but yeah.
All right. What brought me to this table is that Sam called me and said that a friend of his has an idea, and he wanted to bring a few Caribbean folks together to discuss our issues and other topics. And I said it would be a good idea, and so here I am. And I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunately, but they've drafted me to be the moderator, and I'm comfortable with it. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, there's a major draft going on this show. Actually, everyone is just being drafted.
We've been drafted. We've been, we had no choice. We
have a saying in Toastmasters: if you don't volunteer, you'll be voluntold. So he was voluntold.
Yeah, we all were
actually
volunteers.
suggested it, Delroy, because you sound kind of speaky spooky. So I said he'll be the appropriate person.
What are you talking about?
So he had that, his voice and the character, everything. He had what it took to
As the moderator characteristics.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
You sound kind of speaky spooky, as if you went to school a little bit.
That speaky spooky,
make him take you down there.
That speaky spooky. No make it fool you.
The gears
Make it fool
changed.
you, man. Tell you.
Gears have changed. All right.
Let me ask you all something. Let me shift the tide a little bit. I was on Facebook today. Well, this is something I saw a few days ago. I believe it was my cousin posted something where there are two women with outstretched arms and a gentleman walking towards them. And the question was asked, if that was your mother and your wife, you've been away for some time and you're walking up, you just arrived home, and your mother and your wife are standing there with outstretched hands, who should you hug first? Feel free.
Award them want start.
I would say hug the two of them together. Hug them so. Because if you hug one over the other, there may not be an issue, but seeing that it was posed that way, I can see where there could have been some kind of problem developing, where the wife feel that she should have been hugged first, and the mother feel that she should have been hugged first. However, seeing that whose mother was it? The wife's or the husband's?
The husband's
The husband's mother. All right. So technically, and this is just me now, if the son had left the mother's home to cleave to his wife, then he should have hugged his wife first. Biblically speaking, see that he's already left the house and now he's married, he should hug his wife first. Because let's face it, let's say kids were involved, then naturally he would have hugged the kids first, then the wife, then the mother, in that order. That's how I see it.
Well, the kids would run out to the father.
Exactly.
So you have no choice but to hug them.
You had no choice but to hug them.
So my question is, if the wife want to hug first, why she never run up to me?
That too. You have a point there too.
Hey.
But what if the mother had run up first too and the mother get the hug first?
So
Then there
survival of
should
the
be any
swift.
problem.
The survival of the swiftest.
So you see, I think you had to do it per basis, you know. So for example, if you're coming up, they're both of them, their arms are stretched open wide. You know, in a reflex action, you'd be like, oh, it's so beautiful to see both of you. You also look so lovely. And then you just return the favor with arms open wide. Now,
Even if you don't mean what you say?
it doesn't matter, you know, in reference to ladies, they just like to hear nice things. They don't even really worry about.
You don't really have to mean
we don't
it, right?
appreciate. We don't need the sincerity. We just need the gesture. That's what you say?
No. As long as you believe it's sincere, we've done the job.
Oh, as long as
That's really what it
believe to be
is.
sincere.
But this is how you do it, right? Now, if the mother runs up to you first, you hug the mother, right? You can't leave mommy hanging, you know. You hug mom, and then when you get to the wife, you say, you know, I had to save the best for last.
Right.
And you hug the wife. Now, if the wife comes first, you love up the wife a little bit right there. And then you just treat mommy like a pally. Well, Mom, yes, sir. You know.
Exactly. And I don't think there will be any.
So it's per basis.
Yeah.
That's how I would rock it. Now, I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of science to the whole
Sam,
thing,
I don't know if you remember you might be a little too young for this.
I might be too young, yeah, tell me.
Sparrow had a commercial back in the day, and he asked the question, if your mother and your wife was drunk, then who would you save? You had the chance to save one. Who would you save? And I believe he asked his father or his grandfather, and the grandfather told him, you can always have another wife, but you cannot have another mother in your life. So that was my response to this post on Facebook, and I took a lot of heat for it. And a lot
Let me feel about that one day. I'm not even gonna comment on that one.
A lot of people
one,
said the same thing that Delroy said, that
That one sounded, yeah, that one didn't sound right.
So you know how I would approach that is to avoid even being in that situation. So we would just
And how would you avoid being in that situation?
We will just not be taking the boat. We'll take the plane.
So suppose the plane crash and you're in the sea.
God.
The question still remains.
Well, the question is, can I swim? You know, somebody gonna be saving somebody. Somebody gonna be saving somebody.
So this whole situation is, this is why I tell everybody, learn to swim. Learn to swim. Especially, this segue nice into another topic, especially in a state like Florida where we live. Well, what state are you calling from, Delroy?
What's that?
What state are you in?
I'm in New Jersey.
In New Jersey. You in Delaware.
Yeah, one of the most polluted states in the union.
Karin and I are in Florida. We have a lot of waterways down here. Every community you have waterways, lakes and stuff like that. And it's imperative that we as adults learn to swim. It's imperative that we teach our children to swim, because a lot of times cars go off the road and go into those waterways and everybody dead. Because nobody can swim. They don't have any survival techniques. Karin, give me your opinion on this swimming issue when it comes to children.
Well, I do feel very strongly that children need to become adept swimmers, because as you already stated, there's way too many bodies of water all around. The residential areas, business areas have canals behind them. So it's very important to keep the children as safe as possible. I don't think there's anything sadder than a child losing his or her life, when simple lessons could have prevented all of that.
But the way I see it, it's bad enough when a child cannot swim, but when an adult don't know how to swim, that's even worse. And I know here in Jersey, I've heard a lot of people say that they can't swim. And I'm like, how is that possible?
It's possible when people are so focused on school, then going into work. And even if they live in an area that's considered like tropical paradise, they're so focused on just getting the necessary things done in their lives. They don't spend time with leisure activities.
So would you term?
But they're not going out to swim all day like the tourists.
Well, would you see that as a way of? Would you interpret that as, what's the term I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now. But I get what you're saying. A lot of us get caught up into our day-to-day chores, just trying to survive. And so we make no leisure time, And when we do make leisure time, is to run to McDonald's, Burger King, or something like that. No physical activities that's going to exercise the mind, the brain, and the body. And that's not a good way to live. And I find myself caught up in the same thing also. Sometimes I get so busy that I forget to eat, which is, I don't know how someone forget to eat, but I'll sit at this desk all day long and don't even think about food, and that's not a good thing. It's not healthy.
Wait, hold on. I just had so you're in Florida, right?
Yes.
How do you deal with alligators and so on? I mean, aren't alligators in the lakes too? Because they would mess up with people if you drive off into a lake and the alligators. I mean, I don't know how much swimming gonna help you.
Yes,
I know, right?
This misconception from people up in the north that we are jumping over alligators on the way to the mall. It's not that way down here, sir. We are highly developed states, highly developed cities, malls, everything that you all have up there, better than some of you have up in the north. It's just a little quieter and more peaceful down here. So this is
and very flat, no mountains.
That we are skipping over alligators and snakes on the way to work. That's no, man, that's not true.
But the problem with that, if we venture into their area, their territory, it's a different story. It's a different statement altogether.
And they'll have a full course meal.
For a lot of the tourists driving on the main roadways here to South Florida, they stop by the embankment or they stop by at a regular bus, stop area. And they just decide to walk the dogs next to the canal, and there goes.
And then the dog goes missing,
because
right?
they don't think about that. They don't think about it.
Oh man!
So the alligator just
Whereas Floridians know better. We don't walk our dogs by canals and turn our backs on the little, small breed dogs. We don't.
Wow.
Well, I went to Florida a few years ago. I was invited to Florida to speak at a conference, and I have a couple of phobias, and walking on sidewalks at nights, especially when there's like shrub or bushes around, I don't do. And I was in Florida that night, staying at the hotel, and I needed to get something to eat. And I was by myself, And somewhere in the back of my mind, snakes and alligator just stick in my mind. And I didn't go out because those things are so prominently stick out my mind, and I almost died that night because I didn't eat the whole day, and I really wanted something to eat, and I wouldn't go out.
You've
Because
been
of that phobia that I have about walking on sidewalk at night.
You've been hoodwinked.
In Florida.
You've been lied to.
In New Jersey, I don't mind because we know, okay, we don't have snakes and we don't have alligators here. But Florida is known for those things. And some of the other southern states.
You would not find alligators this far inland. They would be by waterways because that is their area of comfort and where they have food of it readily available. The only time that they encroach, on people's property
is when they're crossing the streets, right?
No. When people start to feed them, as if they're completely crazy. And bring them into the residential areas or leave openings in their yard fences and they come into the pool or something like that. But that's a rare event.
That's even scarier.
That is not in the city. That is not scarier. I have been in Florida for over 15 years now, and I've seen 2 alligators and 1 snake. And the 1 snake that I saw, it was heavy rainfall, some flooding, and a snake washed out. Now, I got my cutlass, and I did what we do back home.
Oh, Lord, you chop it up?
Take the head off. Simple. And then everybody tells me, oh, that's a garden snake. It's harmless.
We don't interview the animals before, we like survival instinct kicks in. No. We'll find out the breed later.
I wouldn't even stick around to find out what breed it is.
Right.
I don't even want to stick around for that.
Yeah, so that's the whole point. I saw 1 snake and he ended up dead. I saw an alligator in the canal next to where I worked, and being a bit concerned.
Can you get closer to your mic again, please?
Can you hear me now?
That's where you need to be. Sounding much better.
As I say, I saw an alligator in the lake, in the creek near to my job, and I called the proper authorities, and they came by and they said there was absolutely nothing we can do. The alligator is in his home, in his habitat.
They're protected.
Now there was a fence.
They're a protected species.
There was a fence separating the street from the lake. Now, if I made the foolish decision to climb over that fence or duck underneath, I was doing that at my own risk. They let the alligator do what alligators do and not go into his habitat, because now you end up on the menu. So
you think
the alligators, he's not on my side of the fence where he becomes fair game. And it's foolish for me or anyone else to go on his side of the fence. So they don't venture out. They're not very sociable animals.
So the alligators are aware of that ruling, or is that just the human side?
I don't think anyone ever discussed it with them. I don't think there was.
I mean, if you have a sit down with the alligators and say,
no, I don't think alligators sit down. It's like.
What kind of fence we talking? Like
regular
chain link fence.
A chain link fence that the alligator could bite through if it want to.
No, he can't bite through, but he can certainly dig underneath.
Can they climb? Can they climb? Do they have the ability to climb?
So they can jump. It's about 6
feet. They can jump only from water, though.
From land, they can jump up.
Oh, really?
They could jump on land too. It only depends.
Really?
Well, on land, they don't try to jump too much because But if you're in a good proximity for them to attack you, it's a done deal. Yeah, if they get close enough,
maybe that's why I haven't moved to Florida yet.
But it is unreasonable to think that alligators and reptiles are in suburban areas. They stay as far from people as they possibly can.
Smart animals. You know,
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a matter of staying far from people. It's because I guess because they're more kind of like secluded animals, so they always be in around like a lot of forestry, bushes, whatever, water.
Follow their prey. They follow their prey.
Well, you know, I think animals, you know, they have a little brain vibe going, you know, and I think, you know, look at when the COVID had us all staying home. You know, after a couple of days, you know, we were inside for a few days. After a few days, the animals came out wondering, well, what happened? You know, they came out in the street.
Wondering where we were.
Yeah, no, seriously, they came out like, you know.
What type of animals are you talking about?
Different ones: monkeys, goat, sheep. I think there were a few bears. They came out knocking on people's doors.
Was that why? Was that why the lion got COVID in New York City in Bronx Zoo? Because he come out looking around.
I don't know, but it, you know, there was a video I saw that someone took of a bear. The bear actually came and was like looking to be like, yo, you know, no one driving their car, like, you know.
Well, I think animals. You know? I think animals on a whole. I think all animals have developed sense. May not be like ours, but you know, they communicate with each other and stuff like that. That's a known fact, you know.
I beg to differ with that comment. What do you mean animals develop sense as if they're not born with it?
No, I think no. What I mean, I don't mean develop. I mean they have sense. Period. Just like we have just like we can sense danger, they can sense danger. Just like
a lot of us can't sense no danger, man. Human beings, we go into this stuff about us being the most dominant species, and according to your book, we have dominion over all things. Bro, we are some of the most senseless creatures on the face of the earth, man.
Well, some of us, the majority of us have sense. The majority of us have sense. But in general, we all have, well, not everybody have common sense. We know that. We know that.
There was a lady one time, she had a snake, a big python, and she kept trying to feed it, and the animal wouldn't eat for days, going into weeks. And every night, the snake would come and curl up next to her. And she took it to the vet. She took it to the vet and she said, I think my snake is sick because I'm feeding him and he won't eat. And every night he comes and curls up next to me. I think something is wrong with him. And the doctor said, ma'am, I urge you, get rid of the snake or get out of the house. He's sizing you up to eat you.
Whew.
So
that's a scary thought.
We think that we're all intelligent. You know, I often say this to people with dogs. And people who tend to be so smart, you tell the dog, sit, the dog sit. Stand, he stand. Spin around, the dog spin around. Play dead, play dead. Go fetch, the dog go fetch. And then they beat their chest and they say, you see how smart I am? Look at that, I taught the dog to do all of this. And then the dog said, oh. I said, what did the dog say? I don't know. The dog understands everything you say, but you don't understand one thing about the dog mouth, but yet still you think you're smarter than the dog. No, that dog way smarter than you. The dog sits in the house all day and wait for you to come home. And what do? You come home, you clean his piss, you clean the feces.
And you feed him?
You feed him, you bathe him, you take him for a walk.
Better than you do?
Yeah, you're a servant to the dog. But yet still you claim that you're the master. No, you're the master. That dog rules you.
So, but this is something that we need to consider because, Delroy, you've been talking about going to the motherland soon. I mean, you will definitely be in the jungle.
No, I don't believe that.
I think to the
Which country?
Nigeria, Ghana. I think there's a huge misconception about Africa, and why that misconception? Because that's what they want us to believe. I'm not saying that there isn't jungle in Africa, but a lot of Africa is developed. It's not what they paint it to be. And so that's another issue I have with listening to people from the Western world who has never traveled anywhere out of their immediate area, most of them. Even here in Jersey, there are people living in my city who, if you ask them, what's the next street like 2 or 3 blocks up, they cannot tell you. In all honesty, because they just do not leave their surroundings, and sometimes they go beyond their surroundings, but they don't pay attention to landmarks and stuff like that. And so it's the same idea with Africa. People are telling you about Africa who's never been to Africa, and so the media show us what they want us to see. You know, people running around naked and, you know, chasing after lions and tigers and stuff like that.
I wasn't implying that that's what.
No, I'm not saying you were implying it, but since you bring it up, I'm just, you know,
because, you know, I was just saying there's a chance you might be walking down the road and you see a deer, or you might see, some live.
I wouldn't mind seeing a deer, but if I see, like, I don't even think I'll have a chance to see a lion. That lion will probably see me first and come after me. But
it depends, because some places there's an understanding. You know, the lions may just come out in the street, or the elephants may come out in the street, and just, you know, chill out.
That's if you go in their territories, right?
I don't
think they're like present in the developing area. Just like in Florida, you don't walk around and see alligators and snakes and stuff. I think that the animals have their turf that they stay in. And if you violate their turf, then that's when you're in problems with them.
Allow me to interject here, Delroy. First and foremost, tigers are indigenous to Asia, not Africa. Okay. You say you might walk in the street and lion and tigers, and no tigers in Africa. Tigers are indigenous to Asia and other countries outside.
So lions are in Africa, though.
Yes, I made a post on Facebook a while back of one of the developed cities in Africa, and I asked people if they could identify it. And maybe after 20 attempts, one person identified and stated which city it was. And what I posted is that they told us, don't go to Africa. It's full of lions and tigers in the jungle, and you can get slaughtered. To echo what you said. And that's a lie. It's a misnomer. No lions and tigers roam in the streets. I even had some comments from some people in Nigeria and some other countries. And one Nigerian said the only time he saw a lion was in the zoo. And he lives in Nigeria.
Right.
So, as Sam said, they feed us these lies so that we don't go. You know, we don't go to Africa, but yet still we have other persuasions living in Africa. But yet still
let me just clarify. When I made my comment, it was really to be on a lighter note. I wasn't. I just want to make sure you don't think that I think otherwise. I was just saying, you know, if he's scared about the animals in Florida and he's in Jersey,
and I'm scared,
he's going to be jumping into the frying pan going there. That's all I meant.
Yeah, anything that crawls or glides, I don't mess with.
But on the real, I've been to Senegal. I mean, you know, I've been to Gori. So I've been there. So yes, it's developed, you know. So I don't want you to think that I felt that it was just lions and elephants and all of that. But there are some footage we would see. But it's like wildlife, you know. Certain places you live here, there's wildlife that you happen to see. You know, there are places it's not unusual to see a bear. You know, it's not unusual to see alligator, or in my area there's a lot of rabbits here. You know, you have a lot of rabbits, and once you start hitting the highways, you know, you start seeing like deers that got hit, you know, or you might.
Is there a lot of bears in Delaware also? Is there a lot of bears?
We have.
Because somehow I associate Delaware with bears. I don't know why.
Where I'm in Bear, Delaware. So it was named after.
Maybe that's why.
like Coney Island in New York.
Uh-huh. Maybe that's why I associate, because I know you're there. I don't know why.
Yes, I'm there.
No, that's
you'd have to go more into the, where I'm at. It's more developed now, so the wildlife would be right.
You'd have to go to the wildlife. The wildlife don't come to you. Pretty much.
Some will.
Sometimes.
But, the chances of me seeing a bear here is like.
Oh, okay.
Really, really nil in this part. So you have to be in another area to
let us not leave that trip to Africa unexplored. You mentioned going to Senegal. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Oh, say something about Senegal?
You said something about Senegal.
Yes. I've been there. Well, Senegal is, if I remember clearly, there's a couple of tribes there. You have the Wolof, and I forgot the name of the other tribe. And I was actually learning some of the words, some of the basic words. It's the closest city to the island of Gori, which was one of the slave points, or one of the slave forts there. So you had one in Ghana, and then you have one in Senegal, and it's a little island that's off of the main land. You take a boat there, and actually, there are people that actually live on that island. So it's sort of like it's not a big island, but I will say if you've been to Tobago, I'd probably say it's like about half of the size of Tobago.
How big is Tobago?
100 and Lord, you gave me some really good. I don't want to Google it, but I think it's like 150 something square miles, like that.
Oh, okay.
So you can be in Tobago for a little while. You can, it takes you roughly. Well, now we have better roads, but at one point, you could be driving for about an hour or more. But with the roads and the highway and stuff, now it'd be a lot less.
Okay, like from one end to the next.
Yeah, from one end to the next. But you'll be driving. It could probably maybe be closer to an hour now. But before, like during the 70s, 80s, you would be driving because the roads are more
dirt roads and stuff.
It was dirt roads and which were donkey cart roads initially.
Oh man.
Why are you laughing at that? But anyway, before we run away from Senegal, because I think that was really that was a pinnacle moment for me. Going to the slave fort, there was a gentleman that was doing he was doing like small lectures, and it felt like I knew the place. Really, when I went there, it felt like I knew the place, like I knew the rooms and everything. It was just like a weird experience.
Weird or interesting? Weird or interesting?
I'm sorry?
Was it a weird experience or an interesting experience? Something that's familiar?
It was both.
Okay.
It was, you feel, I think even if they didn't tell me what it was, like what the place was, I think that if they just dropped me in there, I would still feel the same way. That's how strong it was. And
your African roots, you're getting in touch with your African.
Yeah, it was serious. And the shackles, there was the pair of shackles that he had to show the shackles. We didn't go to where the slave, the what do you call them? They weren't slave masters there, but what would they be? They're the ones doing the trade. They would sleep on top. There was an area on top of the fort. That's where they would stay there. And we went, in a way, it was like a protest that we didn't go up to that area. And the guy doing the lecture, he said he don't know how those guys slept up there with all the commotion that was happening underneath during the night.
Man. Right.
He's like, I don't know how they slept. How could you be a human and you look at a room and you say, you fit 20 men in this room. It was like a room. Like, how do you fit all those people in this
because
room?
they were heartless and cold.
So it was rough, man. It was really,
they were
really
heartless,
rough.
so they slept like babies. Sad.
Yeah, it's tough. But I will suggest, if you've never been to any part, I would suggest that you go. And don't worry about the animals.
I honestly, I would love to set foot on the continent of Africa because ever since I was a child, I have this thing about Ghana. I don't know why Ghana stick out so strongly, and which I need to do that DNA test because I need to know where exactly my roots are from. So I've been thinking about doing that for a number of years. I just haven't done it yet. But I think it will be an interesting thing to find out exactly what part of Africa my ancestors are from.
Okay.
Now, Sam, it sounds like your experience was for personal reasons. Is your planned trip also personal, Delroy?
I'm sorry?
Okay.
Yeah,
your trip
I think
also personal.
my trip, to be honest with you, I've always felt the urge to leave this country. I don't have the urge to move back to Jamaica. I want to experience the African continent, to be honest with you. So I feel that when I leave America, when I finally decide to leave here, it's on a one-way ticket to somewhere in Africa.
You said a one-way ticket.
A one-way ticket. When I leave this country, I'm not coming back. That's it. I'm not looking back.
Well, guys, I hate to be a party pooper. I hate to be a party pooper, but we've hit the 1 hour mark.
Our first show. Technical difficulties and all.
Feedback. How you guys feel?
I mean, I feel okay. I feel good.
Right.
This is a start, and there's room for growth. With each show we do, we're gonna get better, and hopefully, our technical situations will be resolved. It is something that you can say sometimes is expected that you're gonna have a little bit of flaws here and there, especially on the first round.
A first show without glitches is non-existent. I don't believe
Exactly. Very rarely does that happen. So there's room for improvement, And before we go, we need to inform our viewers that we're going to be dealing with a wide variety of topics, from mental health to corporal punishment, whatever affects us as Caribbean people or Caribbean American people. We're going to be discussing them, whether it's politics, whether it's education, whether it's disparities, whatever. So continue to watch. It's going to get better. And we also going to be having your input as well. We're going to be taking your questions and try to answer them to the best of our abilities. But once again, I just want to thank you all. And we will see you next time. Have a great evening.
Bless one.
So we don't get closing thoughts. You just sign off the show and you ask me if I have anything to say.
Oh, actually, do you have anything to say, sir?
You have something to say?
No closing remarks. Sam, you have to find the next moderator for the show. I don't like how you
fire me on the first show, so on the public. Everybody
just take over the microphone and close the show. And don't ask me if I have any final thoughts. Don't ask Karin for final thoughts. Nothing. The man just shut up the show. My God.
Some said was 5 minutes ago that we reached the 1 hour mark. So
why don't we go to 105?
The next 5 minutes.
Mr. Henry, why don't you give your final thoughts, and then Karin give your final thoughts, and then Sam, and then we'll wrap it up.
Well, my thoughts are never final. I went permanent space in the head. So you get to understand that.
Absolutely not. I refuse to allow such rental of space.
One of the things I am proud to say that we did is that we did launch, we did get things going. Too many times we suffer with getting ready to get ready.
Yeah.
We prepare, and we never launch, we never get off that starting block. And one of the things I learned recently is that sometimes you have to ready, fire, and then aim. You shoot that bow, and then you readjust your scope, and then you fire again. At least you can know where you have to go from there. And I appreciate that we got off the ground and we launched the program, we launched the show. And for the listeners out there, I am the host of Caribbean Chat. Look me up on YouTube. It's written on the screen. That's Caribbean Chat with 2 T's. Look us up. And like I said, we interviewing people from the Caribbean of distinction, giving you a platform to tell your story. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
And Karin?
Well, it's been my pleasure to be among the 3 of you today. As my platform is Bantu Creations, I've already mentioned it's beautifully handmade, one-of-a-kind earrings, and I'm at Bantu Creations on IG as well as on Facebook. So find me there quite easily.
And let me tell you, you posted some earrings on Facebook the other day. Believe me, if I wear earrings, I would have bought it. They look so good.
Are you trying to say there isn't a woman in your life, not a colleague, a friend,
there isn't.
a family member? That
There
is
women,
so sad.
there women in my life,
that's another topic. That's a topic.
There women in my life, but I wouldn't buy them anything. But those earrings are so beautiful.
You're going to pay for that one. You're going to pay for that one. I hope I hear what that payment.
I just put my foot in my mouth.
Wow.
But they were very nice, and we
that is a future topip on Caribbean feedback.
Wow. That was. I think that was a mic drop for the night. Goodness. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you all for just believing in this idea that we all, sometimes you need to work and build relationships. And I think this is what we're doing. And I think we're off to a good start. We couldn't do this 20 years ago. We couldn't do this 10 years ago. We couldn't do this 5 years ago. We have platforms. I mean, I'm looking at this thing. It's looking like we're looking at like we're on CNN or something. Or we're on one of those major networks because of what, all the different things that we're learning to do.
I am on CNN, Caribbean News Network.
Well, hey, I ain't mad at it. But I'm happy we did just like Curtis said, I'm happy we did the first night. I don't know who that one person is that's looking at it, but
yes, somebody's watching. Yeah,
we've had one person one night.
There's room for listen. They're gonna come.
There might be some comments on Facebook, so we got to look there and see how it went out. But I think we're off to a good start. I think we're going to definitely improve on this. If this is the first night, we just got to figure out the audio situation with the mics, and I think we got a good start going here, and we have a nice chemistry. So kudos to everyone. Hopefully you all will get your coffee mugs. I felt being alone drinking my little coffee, and let's make sure we have. You were sneaking your coffee in? That's what What do you all like a straw going on the table?
No, it's just water. It's just water in it.
But anyway, what I was going to say, I want to have the Caribbean feedback on my coffee mug. So we're going to look into that. Yeah. And we're going to get a little T-shirt situation, And it's 107. So I don't think we're going to be going 7 minutes over next time. We definitely going to be shutting it down on 1 hour. But since it's the first night, we'll have a little drink. You know what I mean? And, I always like to show you guys this stuff.
You're not anybody. And Ollie, you just have it over there. Probably they'll drink it.
You got to have some spirit in the house, man. You got to have a little something.
Well, once again, guys, I'm go ahead, Sam. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. Let's wrap up.
All right, everyone. Have a good night. Until next Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We will see you again. Have a great evening. So long.
Have a blessed one. Bye.